All right, there we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Follett House Friday. My name is Jeremy, the Museum Services Manager for the Sandusky Library and Follett House Museum. Before I start our normal Follett House Friday, I have an important announcement to make. Now that the library has started hosting open hours for the lobby and the computer lab. Okay, that was weird. Sorry, I guess I'll start again. Hello and welcome to another Follett House Friday. My name is Jeremy. I'm the Museum Services Manager for the Sandusky Library and Follett House Museum. And before we start with our normal Follett House Friday, I wanted to make an announcement. Now that the library is having lobby and computer hours on Wednesdays 2 to 6 and Saturdays 10 to 2, the Follett House Museum will be taking reservations for tours for up to 6 people. If you'd like to make a tour of the Follett House, please call the Sandusky Library. And you can either speak to me or to someone at the reference desk, and they will be able to make an appointment for you. So now that I've gotten that really exciting news out of the way, we can go on to our normal Follett House Friday. So this week, as most of you probably know, we had a justice on the Supreme Court die, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I wanted to try and do something that tied into the United States Supreme Courts to kind of go with that theme since it's in the news. But unfortunately, we don't really have anything in our collection that has to do with the Supreme Court of the United States. But we did have something that connects to the Ohio State Supreme Court. So as some of you are probably familiar with the name Rush Sloane, Rush Sloane was very important in our history here in Sandusky. He was a mayor, he was a lawyer, he was an abolitionist, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And as a lawyer, not only was he practiced at the county level and at the state level, he also practiced for the Ohio Supreme Court and the federal courts in Columbus. And to do that, you have to go through the bar, and I'm sure there's lots of other paperwork that's probably different than it is today. But in our collection, as I pull it out here, we have, I don't know if this is the original or if there was a copy made, but it does have, it's kind of hard to see even on the paper, but it does have the seal of the Ohio Supreme Court. And this is the document that allowed Rush Sloane permission to practice in the Supreme Court. Yeah. So this is from, see around the back, 1849. So from 1849 on, we know that Rush Sloane was able to practice law in the Supreme Court of Ohio. It's really neat, and this letter is really long, but it really doesn't say too much except that he met all the requirements, and he is able to practice law for the Ohio Supreme Court. We also have, pull it out over here, there is a piece missing from it, but this was a circular to promote Rush Sloane as a lawyer who could practice. And at the top it says Rush R. Sloane. It's missing, but it says Attorney at Law, Sandusky, Ohio. And once again, you can see there's a chunk missing, so we're not sure exactly what it was. It says probably something about practicing in the Supreme and Federal Courts at Columbus in the District and Common Pleas Courts of Ohio. He will give his attention to collecting and securing claims in Erie, there's probably another county, and throughout northern and central parts of the state. So probably the other county is probably Huron County, it would make sense. And this was basically just an advertisement for Rush Sloane. It has people who could act as references for him on it. Talks about when different court times and dates would be. And this, once again, doesn't have a date on it. What you see at the top, the 37, that means that this was added to our collection in 1937, and the 1449 is the object number of it. Now, in the same file that I found these two documents, I found something else that I thought is really, really cool. And to me, it's neat. Neat piece of history, and I didn't know we actually had this. So as some of you know, as I mentioned, Rush Sloane was an abolitionist. That meant he fought for people to gain their freedom from slavery. And the most famous part of him being an abolitionist was in 1854, he freed two people, two freedom seekers who were trying to go to Canada to gain their freedom. They were caught, and Rush Sloane actually freed them from their captors, allowing them to go to Canada. Well, that was technically illegal. Of course, the United States had passed the Fugitive Slave Act, which meant that if you were caught trying to help someone who was a freedom seeker, an escaped slave, and you helped them, you were breaking federal law. It was against the law. So Rush Sloane obviously was in violation of that. So he was brought up on charges, Fugitive Slave Act, by the owner of these two freedom seekers. And he was taken to court. He was taken to court 3 times till they eventually did convict him. So that was 1854. He wasn't actually convicted until July of 1856. Like I said, he went to court 3 different times. And this letter that I'm going to get out here for us, carefully. This is the letter that is the judgment against Rush Sloane. And I'll just read a short part of it. July 8th, 1856, judgment of, on July 8th, 1856, of Rush Sloane, the above defendant, of the receipt of, can't read the name, of about the plaintiff having, on the date December 14th, 1854, for $3,000. So in 1854, 1856, it's $3,000. It's a lot of money. Today, $3,000 in 1854 is about $95,000 today. It's a big fine. I'm saying he has to pay this money to him as restoration for violating the Fugitive Slave Act and for restoring his property. And like I said, this is something I didn't know we had. It's a really cool piece of history that we have it. It's a story I've told, I don't know, countless times. It's probably one of the best known stories of an abolitionist here in Sandusky. And that we have this letter here that's still in our collection is amazing. This was actually donated to the library by Frank Sloane, who I believe was Rush Sloane's either son or grandson. I'd have to go look again. But it's really neat that we have this piece of history and that I stumbled upon it, like I said, by looking for other artifacts for today. So I don't see any questions popping up, and if I missed your questions, I'm sorry, I'll answer them later. And as always, if you have any questions as the week goes on and you watch this video, please leave them. I'm always happy to answer any questions I can. And it was great to be able to tell you all that the library has open hours again from 2 until 6 on Wednesdays, and Saturdays 10 until 2. And once again, the Follett House is accepting reservations for tours. So you just call the Sandusky Library and we'll get you all set up. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend.